Are Bournemouth turning it around? Well, after a 1-0 victory against Liverpool at Dean Court, it's fair to say that a number of Cherries fans are less pessimistic than they were before. Welcome to the Back of the Net Big Match Preview. This weekend, we face Aston Villa. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
We've got you covered this weekend on Back of the Net, as it's not only this preview show that we've got. On Saturday, Tom?
Fan cam straight after the game. We'll be doing that, and obviously everyone will just be buzzing after the big win at Villa Park.
Let's hope so.
We have the vlog on the Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday morning vlog. Make sure you subscribe for that because, around about 7:30 in the morning, we'll have that out. Hopefully there'll be absolute scenes.
Well, I hope so, mate. And then we got on Monday, we can talk all about it on the second look. We can dissect the win over Villa.
And then what happens later on in the week, mate? Because we talk about the experience of Villa Park, don't we?
Yeah, we do we do an away day show, and we've got a little tier list on there, and it's shaping up quite nicely. I'm not sure where Villa's gonna come in that, so yeah, keep an eye out for that one, Villa fans.
So a couple of things you could do. Hit the like button, and then if you're not already, subscribe. So for Bournemouth, it felt like last Saturday was a long time coming. We just didn't expect it to be against Liverpool, but all the big sides beat Jurgen Klopp's team 1-0, right? Well, look, we had a formation which played to our strengths. We've got players coming back from injury. There's a bit more energy and zip across the pitch. And Phil Bill, well, he's on fire at the moment. More of the same on Saturday, please. And we get the chance to clock up our first double of the season. Let's rewind back to the first game, eh? It was a good one. Good morning.
Day for big centre forwards. 2-0, unexpected. Off to do the fan cams now, see what everyone else thinks. Very happy man. 3 points on a sunny Balls afternoon.
What a day. And Tom, I wasn't even there. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It does feel like, it was the first game, wasn't it? But it does feel like ages ago. I mean, both teams had good central midfielders as managers, but not so good managers as managers. It does feel a long time ago because it was, but it was a really good start for us back in the Premier League. I don't think we expected to win as convincing and comfortably as we did actually on the day.
No, we didn't, and it had the same feeling as what we had against Wolves recently, knowing that there's 3 big teams that were playing straight afterwards, because what was it? It was Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, perhaps not in that order. However, we played them and we lost all 3 of them as expected at the start of the season. Therefore, that first game, there was a lot of pressure on it. But Scott Parker, Tom, he got it right.
He did, we performed very well. There was players playing that aren't even here anymore. I remember Ben Pearson starting the game, who's not with us at the moment. Obviously, Trav's in goal. But I think this will be, not only is it a completely different Bournemouth, it's a completely different Villa in the sense that was a Gerrard team that didn't feel like they were going anywhere. And Emery's come in and stabilised them a little bit more. So, completely different game. But nice to have a chance of a double, mate, because we're not going to have many of them this season.
No, that's right. So, hopefully more of the same scenes at Villa Park. Safe travels if you're travelling up. Takes about 3 hours, just over 3 hours to get there once you're parked up. If you're catching the train, well, chances are you won't be getting there. Industrial action means that train services are all over the place. It's a real unattractive way to travel right now, and I know that people are campaigning for the right reasons, but it just makes it so unpredictable.
Think of the football fans. There should be priority.
We just can't rely on trains, and I hope one day the sort of National Rail gets back to its former glory, and I say that because it wasn't even that good a couple of years ago, but at least we knew there were trains running. No wonder the coach companies are doing so well. It's going to be 11 degrees up in Birmingham, high chance of rain. There's going to be some kind of heavy drizzle. Bring your coat. And you mentioned it already, Steve Gerrard and now Unai Emery. Stevie G at Villa, it's fair to say it wasn't a success story like We thought it might be because he did well at Rangers, didn't he? And then he got found out quite quickly in the Premier League.
Yeah, it just didn't quite happen for him for whatever reason. I think he'll be back. I think he's obviously, as like you mentioned, the time at Rangers was very successful. It'd be interesting to see where he pops up next. But I think there's a few rumours about England 21s, but then also abroad and things. But yeah, I don't think Villa fans really warmed to him. I know his connections probably helped at the start. He bought in Coutinho, didn't he, on loan initially. But yeah, I felt like with Villa, can they go up to that next level? And it just didn't quite materialise for whatever reason. I know he had some injuries at the start, but yeah, it didn't quite work for him there. And yeah, it always felt like it was a matter of time and there was going to be a change. And I think that Emery was a top appointment. And they're still this season, in my opinion, just stabilising. He's getting his points across to the players. And I think next season, they're going to be, you look at what Brighton and Fulham in particular are doing, trying to threaten that top 7 kind of positions. I think that'll be one that Villa will want to kick on to next season, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do, if they, kind of get some good additions in. But I think they've got a top coach, so they've got a chance.
We don't do clickbait here on Back of the Net. However, for the Wolves Away review show that we did, we put in the title, "Are Wolves the biggest Midlands football club?" Now, that was like waiting to happen, because with what they want to do with their stadium, it looks like it could be one of the biggest clubs in the Midlands eventually in terms of capacity. That said, we all know that Aston Villa are the biggest club, aren't they?
Quite
huge,
clear, really, yeah.
Huge. Like European trophies, FA Cups,
Yeah.
they've won it all, mainly in the 70s, but even still.
Yeah, and always little things like I remember when I was a kid and England would be playing. If it wasn't at Wembley, you always felt like it had a good chance of being at Villa Park.
Yeah.
Some good England games there, just because of and there's a good history there, and I think that's why they just want to take that next step now, because it feels like they've been mid, lower, and then Championship even for too long now. So I do think Villa need to get back to that place, but I think they're in they've got a good project going on here where I think they could take them steps. But yeah, I don't think there's really a contest. I mean, as clubs, you never know with the Midlands, because it's all spread out. It's like Leicester. What are Leicester? Are Leicester really?
True.
Because Leicester are a decent sized club and obviously have won the league. But
Are you telling me they're bigger than Birmingham City? Birmingham City are massive, mate.
no. I think they've come in the. I think I looked the other day and it's like nearly been a decade where they've always come like 15th or lower in the Championship. They're an absolute joke.
Well done. You've won a few Villa fans over there.
There is everyone that normally watches the channel will remember last year I was getting grief when I predicted Birmingham would finish near the bottom of the league, and they did.
And I hate to talk about Birmingham City too much. Let's see what I did there. Aston Villa, you know what? I think it's going to be a really interesting game against them. Now, let's wind back to Gerrard's first 11 Premier League games. They won 2 games, they drew 3, and they lost 6. Villa were away at Fulham for the 11th game, lost 3-0, and that was that, because this left Villa in 17th place with just 9 points, equal with Wolves are in 18th place, and both with the same number of points and goal difference at the time. But after that game, it was time for Gerrard to go. I think Aaron Banks came in for a couple of games and took charge. They won.
Didn't he?
They won. Well, it was a tale of 2 4-0ers. They won one.
Smashed Brentford, didn't they?
Yeah, they won one and they lost one. Brentford, good result. Newcastle, bad result. But then Unai Emery came in, and I was thinking about it, Villarreal, they're not doing bad in La Liga. Is it a step down? But it's not, because it's the Premier League, isn't it? And the Premier League is never a step down, no matter who you take charge of.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Real Madrid and Barcelona, even La Liga or any other team, they're taking mid-table Prem club every day. So yeah, and I just, as I kind of briefly alluded to, I did think it was a really good appointment at the time. Got appointed on my birthday, actually, 24th October. Yeah. We were going to West Ham away, but yeah, he's a top coach. I think some people looked at it didn't quite work for him at Arsenal during then transitional, and you look at Arsenal now, and I think it's quite easy to say. But Emery, I think he then knocked Arsenal out of European competition under Villarreal, and Villarreal were stronger with him. And I just think he's got clear identity, clear philosophy, and he's clearly an intelligent guy. So I think it was a good appointment. They didn't mess around, did they? 2 games and he was in. Yeah,
and fans were loving him. First game, Man United won 3-1 as well. And look, they've been doing very well. I think he's been working through. It seemed to be a bit of a transitional phase for him, but they seem to be a team that's always in the Premier League. I say that relatively, they were recently promoted to the Premier League after a period of time in the Championship. However, given the fact that they're a staple Premier League side, shouldn't they almost be the ultimate cup side? Shouldn't they be up there with like the FA Cups and the EFL Cups and stuff? Shouldn't they be challenging every year in those competitions?
It's a fair point actually, and I think they've probably in recent times had that. For some reason, they've always been looking over their shoulder at relegation a little bit, and maybe that's affected them going on these cup runs. But yes, it's a good point. I've always, probably similarly with teams like West Ham, who have probably always been looking at this where you think, but they had the European run, and Villa is you always look at your kind of Villas, probably more this season at your Brighton and Fulhams and teams, and you think, you go for a cup. Yeah. And obviously Newcastle tried to do it with the League Cup this season, but yeah, it's a good point. They did play in an FA Cup final. I can't remember what it was. I remember Arsenal beating them in an FA Cup final, but it's probably further back than I realise actually. Feels like I'm on that long ago, but I can vaguely remember Alexis Sanchez scoring, so it's probably a while ago. But yeah, that's probably something. Villa probably look at trying to make sure they're comfortably going for the European places and also having a little cup run. But at the moment, I think Emery hasn't got his team yet. He hasn't got his players yet. Yeah. And I think once he starts, I think he's long term, and they're going in the right direction.
Are they a likeable side, Villa?
Yeah.
They are to me.
Yeah,
probably one of the most likeable Midland sides. And I don't know why that is exactly, but they just seem to be down to earth, nice people.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Nearly went into a Brommy accent when I said that. Though.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I look at the other Midlands clubs, I'm thinking now, and I think actually, they probably are one of my favoured ones. Not really sure why that is, but maybe it is that kind of history and that it goes back to, and you can remember kind of really strong Villa sides that are good to watch and stuff, and they're inoffensive to a team like us, aren't they? So that makes sense.
And also I think part of that reason is because we've got a good head-to-head over them, especially recently. We're going to go over that a bit later on. Also, I've got to say, the fan channels that we've worked with before and spoken to, the Villa View, the Up the Villa podcast, we were sat on the table next to the FCAs actually, and they've been award nominated, just like our good selves. But also some of the best match day vlogs on YouTube. Max Stokes, Villa on Tour, I think absolutely superb. He does a cracking job. Let's see the job that Unai Emery's doing in the league table at the moment. Then here it is on screen, and you see that they're all right, aren't they? They had 3 losses on the trot. They're in 11th place, but there you can see the couple of wins. And then most recently a draw. They're on 35 points. How many points do you reckon they should be aiming for, mate, with 12 games to go?
Difficult one, isn't it? But I think it's that there's that saying of being on the beach. And I think as long as they stay away from that, because really Villa fans know they ain't going to go down, but they ain't going to get in Europe. So it's kind of just like, right, let's see some things ready for next season. Let's go into next season with that optimism and see where we're going, because the season's kind of done for them. So it can work both ways, can't it? It can make it feel like they're on the beach, but it can also make them feel like they're playing with no fear, and they can just go and try and win games. There's no point of kind of being fearful in games. But they almost feel like they start another league. Like I feel like 12th and down is one little mini league.
Oh yeah,
and Villa are that place above it. So I think it's been they should be content with the season after the difficult start. I mean, I didn't realise then until you read it out with Joe had left that they were really in. I know it was early, but they were looking like they could be in a real relegation, and then it doesn't feel like they've ever been in it since. No. So fair play to them for that. But dangerous game, because as I say, they haven't really got anything to worry about.
Let's look at the league table again and just move your eyes south, and there you can see Bournemouth now. After the game against Liverpool, we were in 16th. After the Saturday 3pmers, we were then in 17th, and then on the Sunday we dropped down below the dotted line
because of Villa.
Because of Villa
drawing with West Ham.
Should have got that result. You really should have. But it's fair to say that results went for us in the week, though, time in the Premier League, did they?
Lovely, mate. Yeah, I mean, I fancied, obviously, we want to try to keep Palace in there. So I did fancy Brighton to beat Palace at home, which they did. My worry was if Southampton are going to have a winnable fixture. I think Brentford at home, under the lights. Yeah, I thought they could get something, and Brentford went there and 1-0. So Southampton are really struggling. And now Southampton, we're above them, and we've got a game in hand. Yeah. So that was a real positive from the week. I felt that was big for us without playing them losing. So hopefully we can look at that as positive going into the Villa game, mate.
Here's another stat that might make you slightly happy. The form table has Aston Villa and Bournemouth very close. They are in 12th based on the last 6 games. Bournemouth in 13th.
Easy.
And we always win at Villa Park, don't we? Well, let's have a look at that head-to-head. Look, Since the Premier League, we know that we had them on our very first game. There was a Rudy Gusted header on there.
Tim Sherwood.
Sun-drenched Dean Court, and we peppered their goal as well, somehow.
First ever Premier League game, so I remember coming out of it losing 1-0 to Villa and going, there's a lot of positives. And then that season they were awful, weren't they? They went down under Sherwood for a period. So yeah, we looked back and went, maybe should have won that.
But it got better since.
We won away from home.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like we won 2-1 at their place. Was that the Steve Cook little like corner routine at their place?
I've seen us win 2-1 twice there. And then have you as well? Yeah. I've only seen us lose once, but that was a cup game, so I'm not counting it. But both the league games I've seen us win have been virtually the same. You've gone 2-0 up, and they've picked one back, and we thought, here we go, and we've hung on. So yeah, I think Harry Wilson might have got one the last time.
Yeah, he
deflection
did.
Off Tyrone Mings,
and then a penalty early doors, and I think Douglas Luiz as well.
Screamer.
Yeah, absolute screamer. But as we know, the last time at Dean Court was just back in August. So yeah, Unai Emery had a good start in front of home fans at Villa Park. He saw his side, as we said, beat the Red Devils 3-1. Other results include 2-1 against Leeds, 1-0 against Palace. And 1-1 against Wolves, obviously losing to Liverpool and Arsenal. A surprising loss maybe to Leicester.
Yeah, that was a weird game, that.
Yeah, that was a really weird game. But Tom, talk me through their form in February then, because it started off with that 4-2.
Yeah, it was a weird game, losing 4-2 at home, and we probably thought Villa would get something against Leicester here. But yeah, it was probably a bit more open than Villa fans are used to under Emery at home, but credit to Leicester in that game. And then they lost to City 3-1, we can all do that, not too much in that. The Arsenal game, I mean, you look at it and just go 4-2 Arsenal, but actually Villa were
Villa were better for the bulk of that game.
Yeah, and then there's just a one that hits Martinez on the head, and the way we know that Arsenal can beat you late on, so that's fair enough. But big one for us personally was them going to Goodison and winning. Yeah. That was massive for us. But yeah, big win for Villa there, because not many teams are winning at Goodison at the moment, so that was a good win. Beat Palace pretty comfortably. I know it was only 1-0, but they were pretty comfortable in the game. And then the West Ham game, the most recent one, we wanted obviously you guys to go there and get the 3 points, but they should have won the game. They seem to have a lot of the ball, and then it just kind of broke down in them key areas, and West Ham skanked the goal, but they still look in control. And I had a little look back, and apart from the City and Arsenal game, which is probably like everyone this season, apart from them 2 games, they always have the bulk of possession. It seems. So Emery's clearly got that, kind of, he wants them to control games and keep the ball, and maybe it's just in both boxes, they're not quite got that clinicality yet to have pushed on higher in the league. But yeah, they're a tough nut to crack, mate. So, but very consistently inconsistent of late.
Do you know the duel that's going to interest me the most on Saturday?
Yeah, go on.
Ouattara on the right flank and Moreno, who likes to push forward, and they can be susceptible on that side. And we know that Dango, the assists that he's... how many assists is it? 4 now?
Yeah, something like that.
Unbelievable stats.
Yeah, it'll be really... I mean, obviously, I'll predict the teams in a minute, but Moreno's has got that spot, but he's such an offensive fullback. His average position stuff are ridiculous. He bombs on so much. And we've been getting joy because on the counter-attack, Dango Ouattara on that right-hand side has caught him out. So my fear, I wonder if Emery... I feel like Emery will go, no, we're better than Bournemouth, we play how we play. But there might be a case of him putting Digne in just because he's wary of that.
Well, some of the things, I've seen their average positions over the last few games, and it seems that when they play sides that have a threat on a particular side, they do tend to double up.
Yeah.
Whereas there are other matches where there's left-sided players been exposed somewhat.
Yeah.
But they're going to look at those stats from Dango and think we need to do a job on him, surely.
Yeah, definitely. And but it'll be one of them. It'll be, can Dango catch Moreno every time, or will Moreno bomb on, and then because Dango's not tracking him, they get in there on that side. It'll be interesting to see how that battle works if it is the case, and them two are up against each other. And it'll be interesting on the other side as well. Cash likes to bomb on. I purposely just said Cash then because everyone always says Matty Cash, but he bombs on as well. So they do have fullbacks who like to bomb on, which from a Bournemouth perspective, I'm quite happy with, because lately when teams have bombed on the fullbacks and we've soaked it up, we are quite dangerous on the counter.
So should we find out what they've got to say about this fixture and what YouTube says, shall we?
Let's do it, mate.
Let's find out.
And Philip Billings scores, who's really been their top player this season. He's done a little bit of everything. We know him ourselves being that anchor at the bottom of the the midfield. Now he's playing a small bit further forward, playing behind Solanke, and it's a kind of a predicament that we faced like we did against West Ham last week, where they've moved a Thomas Souček from playing in that 6 role up to playing in the 10, and it just gives a different dynamic. Somebody like Philip Billings is just a big, tall, brutish man, but now he's getting into the box and he's scoring goals. He's their top scorer this season. He's got 6 goals.
Billings their top scorer, I believe. He's always looked useful to me. I don't think the Bournemouth fans have always been keen on him, but to me, he's always looked relatively useful. Like you, I don't watch loads of Bournemouth, but I watched them last week against Liverpool. I thought they were good. They were especially dangerous in transition, which is something that Villa are going to have to look at, especially if Kamara. I don't think he'll be available. We haven't heard from Emery yet, but I'll be very surprised if Kamara came in before the international break, came back in. So in transition, that was where they really hurt Liverpool. So Villa have got to be on it from that sense.
I think I'm feeling positive. Of course, Bournemouth have decided that they want to pick up points when they come to Villa Park. It's always the way. But I think we can't go into this game fearing Bournemouth, because it's just one of those. You've got to back your team, haven't you? And as much as they may have beaten Liverpool on the back of Liverpool beating Man United, there are just those results in this league. Anyone can beat anyone, but we know that we've got the quality where we should be beating Bournemouth.
But yeah, it'd be good. It would be good to get off to a great start, wouldn't it? In terms of just putting any sort of doubts to bed about a Bournemouth and stuff. It would be good, because they need the win as well. They're obviously fighting for their lives. They had a great result against Liverpool. They've played pretty well before, but yeah, I know we were talking about this earlier on in the week, Kevin. We were saying that it's very, very, very difficult to put 3, 4, 5 performances together, let alone win 3 or 4 in a row, but performances. And they've had, I think it's like Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. I don't know if that was all 3 games in a row, but they've certainly played them in.
It was.
So they've had 3 massive games in a row. Obviously picked up 3 points from them, took Arsenal all the way. That's a hell of a lot of energy expended, and a hell of a lot of, it doesn't matter what you say, you get heightened, you get up for those big games, and to then come against a Villa, you can see that you could almost see that kind of like that come down, and then playing Villa, and we can certainly capitalise on that.
Yeah, do check out those YouTube channels. Links are in the description below. Aston Villa are very well represented. I told you a few names of the channels that we like and we've watched many times before. So yeah, kudos to them. Conversation going to switch it a little bit back to Bournemouth and Gary O'Neill. He's emerged with a little bit of credit after that Liverpool performance, hasn't he? And there's even been a podcast from Tifo and The Athletic, and they quite often chuck a few words AFC Bournemouth's way, and they've had a little more to say on the Cherries after our notable result against Jurgen Klopp's side, and they quietly think that O'Neill is actually doing a decent job, knows our strengths and our weaknesses, and he's built a new low block and a counter-attacking system. But the one thing they did say is that they're worried about what happens when we need to go toe-to-toe with sides that we need to be beaten to survive. I suppose it's a litmus test as to where we're at. Can we beat a side that might have a low block? They won't, but other teams will.
Yeah, that's my concern. That's always been my concern. I think we've got the players now. Gary got the players in January, and then players that have come out from injury, like Marcus Tavernier, for example, that offer us a real counter-attacking threat, and we're quite comfortable to go, you can have the ball, and we'll try and hurt you in transition. But yeah, that's been my concern. Everton won't play that way, Leeds won't play that way, Southampton won't play that way, Palace won't play that. And we virtually, Everton aside, who are a different team now with Dyche, we virtually lost to all them teams. So yeah, that is my concern.
But we were crap.
We were, but we will not be able to play that way. At home to West Ham, for example, coming up, there's no way we're going to be able to just get them out the ball and counter because they'll be so much deeper. Yeah. It's going to be difficult. And we've said on this channel for a while that everyone was writing off Liverpool, and I felt it would suit us. So I felt Liverpool at home. I did think Liverpool at home was more winnable than Villa away, personally. So I think we need to stay calm that we've beat Liverpool and think now we can just go and beat Villa. But
a lot of Bournemouth fans are taking that opinion actually,
and
thinking, Villa's must win 3 points, and Gary O'Neill out if we lose. Sort of that.
No, I mean that's what happens, and like you said there about different podcasts and that saying that O'Neill's doing a good job. That's how quickly it changed, and you beat Liverpool and suddenly, and you got to take the game in isolation, and the game in isolation was we knew how Liverpool would play, and we absolutely tore them on the break. We knew how to set up, we knew they'd have the ball, but we made sure we could hurt them down the other end, and Gary got it bang on. The players all done their roles really, really well. And then we got the rub of the green in certain situations in terms of they weren't very clinical and we took our chance, and that's what you got to do. But yeah, it is my concern going forward that I think, I've said this before, but a lot of people said, yeah, but we've got these fixtures coming up, we'll be fine if we're in it, coming into all these 6-pointers, we'll be fine. But I'm going, but these games are going to be so different. And there'll be games where we need to have more of the ball and we need to be a bit cleverer, and we can't just soak it all up. So it will be interesting to see. But I do think at the moment, I feel like Villa are a team that will try and control the ball, and we can hurt on counter-attacks, particularly playing them at their place. They'll want to control the football match, and that's okay with me. Yeah. And it's just about us catching them cold like we did Liverpool.
So in their January transfer window, we know about Moreno for 13 million or so from Real Betis. Also signed a forward from Chicago, didn't they?
Duran, his name is. Yeah, they want to see a bit more of him, I think. But he's kind of having a bit part appearances at the moment, but he could be one to watch for the future.
Yeah, Duran's going to be hungry like the wolf to cause an impact.
Yeah, well done. I'm not even going to comment on it. And to be fair, my head's trying to think of more songs and I'm not very good at Duran. Were they Rio?
Yeah, Rio.
I can't really say anything about that, can we?
Whatever Happens Tomorrow, there's another one. What Happens Tomorrow?
You could use that. Whatever Happens Tomorrow.
Yeah, What Happens Tomorrow. Never mind, that's one of the newer ones anyway. One player that left in the January transfer window was someone that we know very well.
Ex-Cherry, Danny Ings, yeah. Went to West Ham. I remember being really worried at the time, thinking, oh no, West Ham got a goal scorer. But to be fair, he's very injury prone, and I do feel for him actually. But it's hard for him to get a run in any team. So, and I kind of got it. Obviously, they brought Duran in, and I kind of got it because I think Watkins is a much better striker anyway, and I think Ings probably was desperate to go and play some football. It was a worth a risk from West Ham probably as well. We were kind of, I think a lot of us thought, maybe get him in because he can poach a few goals, but was surprised maybe they let him go mid-season, but as we keep saying, this is the position Villa are in. They can afford to do that because they're not in any sort of scrap. So if Emery didn't see him as one for the future and one that he wants to hang his hat on, then might as well let him go for a fee.
There's Ings, and then there's Mings, of course, as well, and it's going to be a reunion with him. Did he get named to the England squad? No.
He played with it for a bit, didn't he? But no, he's not really in there anymore. But he'll be in his full Villa kit again.
I was about to say, I expect he will be, yeah. Right. Ollie Watkins, he's certainly a man to watch.
He's the one to watch. Yeah.
He's going to be a threat. Right, should we do team news?
Go on.
Let's go. Right, so AFC Bournemouth team news. If you want to know the deets, then I'll click my fingers and it'll be at the bottom of the screen. How about now? There you go. Now, Adam Smith seemed like he had a bit of a groin injury after the Liverpool game, but he's been seen in training. Yep. One thing, by the way, I was browsing through the training gallery. They took about 60 photos, I think. Everyone was smiling and in really high spirits, weren't they?
Oh, amazing what a win does, isn't it?
It's amazing what a win does.
A win and seeing Junior Stanislas on the training fit, that's enough to give you a smile, mate. But yeah, it does feels like people are coming back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Even Ilya Zabani, he was shown on the photos as well. Could some Bournemouth fans who are going to Wembley to watch the England-Ukraine match might be in the weird situation of actually seeing him play in England first for Ukraine rather than for AFC Bournemouth, which is mad. Also, Hamid Traore as well. It all seems to be, and also we believe that Marcus Tavernier is also very close and might have been out on the grass as well. That's what we believe. But it seems that could have the strongest squad / bench
in a long
/ team for a long, long time.
Yeah, and obviously we know that even Brooksy's back in contention at the moment, so that's great. But yeah, it's a good time, and I think no one will be risked if they're a doubt, but because you've got to remember we've got this international break, but having players coming back and then knowing we've got a week off, really get them up to fitness, really good for the run in, so to speak. But yeah, really crucial because we have it's felt like all season we've had a few key players. We haven't had, I don't think it's enough of, it's not an excuse to say, we've been decimated this season. I don't agree with that because we've got a good squad, but we've always feel like every game we've got a couple of big injuries out, so we're looking like we're getting, the kind of team and squad that that Gary's been, you know, begging for ever since he's come in. So yeah, real positive signs, mate. And yeah, I want to get Hamed back in that squad because he was really starting to show things. And I was hoping he wasn't going to be a bad one. It seems like it was just a minor knock. So as long as Smithy's okay, I think he'll probably be all right. And like I said, if anyone's kind of like Smithy's taking a knock, you go, you've got one game and you got a week off, mate, you'll be fine. So yeah, confident.
I ask you this question every week. Do you know who the ref is?
No, I never care.
Robert Jones, calling Robert Jones, Robert Jones. He had us for...
Was that Aqua?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. J. What a banger that is.
2 games he had us for last season.
Yeah, go on.
Sheffield United home.
We won that.
Yeah. Blackburn Rovers away.
Won that.
Hey, Robert Jones.
Calling Robert Jones.
Should we do teams?
Yeah, go on.
People don't want to hear us singing.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, we'll start with Villa. There we go. We've got, what is this, 43-1 by the looks of it?
Yeah,
there or thereabouts?
So. Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, Emi Martinez will be in goal, mate.
The shithouser.
Yeah, he is a little bit, and he's a very good keeper. Yeah. I think he's probably the best outside.
But he has his
the
moments though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. But obviously he's a World Cup winner. You know, he's a top goalkeeper.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, it'll be hard to get past. Across the back four, obviously we mentioned the fullbacks. I'm hoping and thinking they'll probably stick with the same two. So Cash at right back. I think Konza will play with Mings.
Yeah.
And Moreno at left back. Mings didn't actually play on the opening day on Gerrard because they had Diego Carlos come in and he got cropped in early on. But Mings and Konza, decent partnership. And to be fair, if Moreno does bomb on, they probably like the fact that Mings can play left back so he can cover that position well. But I'm always, you never know when an old player, you're playing against an ex-player, but I'm always quite like, put a bit of pressure on me. He's got a rick in him, hasn't he? Okay,
onto the midfield.
Yeah, I think it will be quite self-explanatory, this one. McGinn and Louise kind of protecting. Kamara's out, he'd be the only other one that'd be knocking on the door, really. Both got a worldie in them.
Yeah, I was about to say, John McGinn's got one of his goals, I can't remember who it was against.
Yeah,
unbelievable strike on his left boot, and it just had all the amazing angles.
Yeah.
And of course, Douglas Luiz, we know that he can score
goals
against us.
But yeah, they'll be protecting it a little bit more, a little bit deeper. Buendia off that right-hand side, he was brilliant for Norwich. So I don't think he's quite kicked on yet for Villa, but he's always a danger, I feel.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll be off that right with Bailey probably off that left-hand side. Probably still flattered to deceive a little bit, but he's a threat. And then Ramsey's a good young player that's coming through as well. He'll get a little bit closer to the main man up top, which I'm sure will be Ollie Watkins, and he's a player probably a little bit unlucky not to get in the squad, maybe. But yeah, he'll be a threat as always, mate. So yeah, dangerous side, but yeah, I've got that bang on, I reckon.
Bang on, that's what Tom says. Villa fans, do you agree? Let us know who you think should be your starting 11 at Villa Park. Right, on to Bournemouth. 4-3-3 by the looks of it. Go on.
Yeah, we forgot all this 5 at the back nonsense, haven't we? Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, I think after the win against Liverpool, it's probably should speak for itself, but don't know about knocks and players coming back. But Neto will definitely be in goal, mate. Back four, I'd say, assuming Smithy's all right. Smith, Stevens, Senesi and Lloyd Kelly staying in at left back, I think.
Stevens and Senesi, I thought last week, absolutely superb. Lloyd Kelly did well to be back as well, and that experience of Adam Smith as well, invaluable too.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice balance. I like
that. That back four just kept a clean sheet against Liverpool, so yeah, got to be looking at that.
And then more disciplined than say Jay-Z, who's I don't know what's happening. He was pictured in the week, by the way. I think they went on a team bonding shooting drill, paintball. Not like a target shooting thing, whatever you call it. Jay-Z was there. Jay-Z smiling. He's putting Instagram posts off. I don't think it's this kind of toxic situation that some people have suggested. I think it should be resolved.
Hopefully.
I hope so anyway. But,
did Ryan Christie at the target when they were doing played well when he come on, by the way. That's good. I think the three in midfield, Lerma will probably be the deepest, of course. And then Rothwell, who's been performing really well. I think he's still got the shirt over Lewis Cook at the moment.
He did well, yeah.
And then goal machine himself, Philip Billen, who no one's ever doubted, will be the one that will try and get forward as much as he can.
Never doubted you, Phil.
Nope. Wide options, as we said, Dango Ouattara, going to cause loads of problems. I think Anthony will keep his place on that left as well. I thought he played well against Liverpool.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Dom through the middle, who I reckon he might get his goal.
Oh yeah, just want to see him notch. His hold-up play, we know how good that is, but would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, Cherries fans, if you agree with that team, let us know. But prediction time. Let us know in the comments what you think the score's going to be. We're going to read every single one. If we like your comment, if we heart your comment, that means we agree with it. Okay. So there's a reason why you should put one in. Tom, I'm going to ask you for one.
1-1. I'm going to go for.
Oh, you've gone the route that I sort of probably should go down.
And I think it depends. We want to win the game, of course. It's a difficult one. I don't think I would take a draw because I think we've got enough about us to try and win this game, and we need points, of course. But look at it. You go Liverpool, Villa, 4 points. That's pretty good going into the break. Just don't want to kind of lose that little tiny bit of momentum we've gained going into it, and then having a break and having to sit on it. So I'm hoping we at least get something. I think they might nick a goal, at home, but I do think we're causing problems on the break. So I'm going to go 1-1, Watkins and Solanke with the goals.
2-1.
Yeah?
2-1 to Bournemouth.
We've done that a lot.
That's what I'm going for.
We love a 2-1 at Villa Park.
Yeah.
Are we going to go 2-0 up, then we're going to get one back and we're going to go, here we go.
2-1 to Bournemouth. Yeah, that's what I'm reckoning. Look, if you're going, Cherries fans, have a safe journey. Looking forward to seeing you either in the pub or in the stadium itself. If you want to come on the match day vlog, just say hi. If you want to come on fan cams, just say hello afterwards. But either way,
looking forward to it.
Have a good one, and we'll see you up in the Midlands. Not the Chess.
Not the Chess. Come on.